Hello and welcome to this Revit 2023 architectural update. Hi, I'm Greg Benson-Shettle, one of the many certified instructors here at Greytech. Okay, so this is all about the latest updates. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the new Revit features. Now this one is just going to be talking about the architectural features. Okay, we will have additional update materials available for the structural and the MEP. So this is just about the architectural side. Now, in this particular update, whilst there may not be any new modeling tools as such, we have got around 40 different updates. It's a lot of features, too many to go through here, but with that many features, this is actually a very good update. Okay, so we're going to go through and highlight the ones that we think are probably the most useful to most people. Okay, right, so here we are in Revit. Let's start taking a look. So I'm going to just go over to a regular 3D view. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look at quite a nice one, which is called data exchanges. Now I'm just going to swing this view around to an alternative aspect. Now, the idea with data exchange is to provide the ability to share just portions of your models with your collaborators. Okay, so rather than perhaps if you've got structural steel people, or if you just need to highlight one particular element for a particular part of the team, you can just create a view purely of that and share that as an updatable, shareable view in the Autodesk docs. So the first thing I recommend we do is we're going to create a quick copy of this view so we can create a dedicated view for this purpose. I'm just going to click on duplicate. I'll just rename this for clarity. Let's just call this railings. Now, what we can do is we're thinking about just these railings here. So I will select these railings and some of the elements they're connected to so that people have got context. So I'm going to add this wall here and this wall and this wall. And see if I can get that wall as well. There we go. And I'm going to use our fantastic little box feature. There we go. So now we have a section that's just concentrated in this area only. Okay. So this is all about collaboration. So let's go off to the Collaborate tab. And we need to publish this. So we have publish settings up here. And we're going to create a set. So you create a new set. Okay, so I'll call it set 1, for example, or set 2, whatever you want to call it. And then you decide what views you're going to have in here. So we have the drop-down list. I'm going to say 3D views. Okay. And let's take a look. So I want to have a look at 3D views in the model. I'm really going to be just interested in my railings 3D view. So I'm going to put a tick in this one, get rid of the default. Okay, so set 2, and tick set 1, and 3D view. Now there's a little preview here, so you can always check. If you click on one of these views, you can just double check that it is the view that you're looking at. All right, save and close. Okay. We then save this. Now, it would be also sort of a synchronized element as well. So this is all about sharing in the cloud and using the Autodesk Construction Cloud features. So keep that in mind. So it's BIM 360, docs, that type of thing. Now I'm just going to pop over to the home screen. Okay, so I'm looking at this one here. Now I'm just going to look at some other set for a moment, simply because I just want to make sure that it has updated everything. And I'm going to go back to my Revit 2023. Go into the project files for this particular project. Okay. So here it says there's an update available. So therefore we need to publish that update. It's really important. Now you can either publish it via the three dots over here, publish latest, or you can put a tick in the box and then a publish button becomes available. This is only available if there is an update available. Okay. So click on publish and we get an information page come up. So we go ahead and click on publish. So that will take a moment. Now, depending on the complexity of your project, the size of it, the size of the view that you're generating, obviously, this publish set may take a moment or two to actually update. Now, when you're doing a data exchange, it will show the visible model, elements, properties, all the types and instance parameters will be accessible. Room data, levels, and grids will be part of this shared collaboration data exchange set. Okay. So now it's been updated. On this page here, we can say view online. So I'm going to go ahead and click on line. It's going to open up my Explorer, my Internet Explorer, Edge. Okay. So here we have, we're in the document management side of things. We've also got this set. Now, this is the one we've actually just updated. So we're going to go to that one. And hey, look, we've now got a dedicated view just about the railings. And of course, so anybody within your program that you've actually set up to have access to this, they've now got a dedicated view and they can look at just those elements that they need to look at. Data exchange, the ability to separate out those elements. Okay, let's go back to our project and look at a few other things. Okay, we've now got more control over our print order. Okay, so printing from Revit has traditionally been an interesting pastime, but with the fairly recent and long overdue addition of PDF printing and exporting, we've now got the ability to obviously produce our deliverables or our archived records with PDFs. And so we can now actually control those. So let's take a look. Let's go File, and of course export PDF, not print. Yeah. So we have our sheets. We can set up what we want to do, whether or not we want to combine it into just a single PDF or whether we're going to have various different ones. So select views. Now in here you can see I've got that set 1 and that set 2. That's what we had from the publish side of things as well. If we go in here, let's create a new set. Create a new empty set. I'll let PDF print. And we can choose our sheets. So I've got a number of sheets here, so I'm just going to select all of these like so. Now here's the new button we've got. Look at this, edit print order. So we can click on here. Okay, now it can be print by browser organization, ascending by sheet number, or you can actually go to manual order. All right, manual order. So for example, if I've got a general arrangement view here, and what I want to do is click and hold, and I can drag that up to the top. So now my general arrangement is going to be the first sheet before we start getting into the actual details. So a nice little add-on there, so that will then be the print order for this PDF. Quite nice. Now here's another quick one. Another one that's kind of overdue, but really been really useful. Simply the ability to be able to measure stuff in 3D. Okay, so if we go up to our measuring tools, okay, we've now got the capacity to, in a 3D view, you know, I could measure from here to here, for example, and hey presto, we can find out, you know, how big's this window. So we can actually just measure in 3D. Again, another very small little feature that is so very useful. You can use just a couple of things. You can use the control key to constrain the measurement in a plane, okay? And you can also use the keyboard shortcut SP to snap perpendicular. So if you're doing an awkward area and it's not perhaps picking on exactly the thing what you want to do, I could go SP, and it's now, you see, we got a perpendicular object snap come up there. So that's a nice one. Quick, easy, and well appreciated. There are also some performance enhancements. Now this is one area that deserves a little bit of discussion, but it's obviously tricky to demonstrate. However, some back-end improvements have included the image rotation and transparency aspects. So things are just rotating around quite nicely. Editing complex sketches, skip redundant room generation, editing of floor slabs, copying many elements at the time, plus others that are included in the MEP performance. So again, some back-end engine stuff going on, which makes the whole experience of using Revit just a bit smoother and nicer and decomplicates things. Just another one worth mentioning is the Format to Revit workflow. So if you've been migrating away from SketchUp and starting using Format, we can now have some additional and better linking capabilities within inside of Revit. Just to illustrate this, if we go off to the insert area and we can go to say link CAD. Now in here we have got some new file formats. Look at this. We've got the format, the AXM file. We've also got OBJ in there as well, and we've got STL. So we've got some new file formats that we can link in. Okay, and just thinking about the format side of things, the edit format button now allows you to directly link format files straight in from the AXM file. Right, okay, moving on. Enable cutting views. Now, here's a thing. CAD files, if we're bringing in some CAD files, look at this. I've got some units in here. These are DWG files. Okay, they're DWG. Okay, and when we take a look at these in a plan view, let me just open up a plan view. So in plan view, here are my DWG little cupboards that I've brought in. Okay. Now, of course, they do not show any of the internals, of course, because it's a DWG. But what if you've had a DWG that you bring in? Maybe it's a piece of equipment. It may be something other than furniture, and you'd like to see it cut through. Okay, we can now, if I click on here, okay, you've got a new little feature here which says enable cutting features. Now let's see if we can get this working. So I click on here, enable cutting views with DWG. Okay, now at the moment, of course, that doesn't show a lot. Let's put a section through here. Yeah, put a section through. So I put a little section through here. My sections have been switched off, so I do apologize. So it has created a new section. It's probably this section number 5. Here we go. And look, this unit here, we can say enable cutting views. And now it's actually cutting through the DWG. So we can see the internal shelves. Yeah, so DWGs, you can now, with a toggle, it's an instance parameter. Okay, you can then cut through 3D CAD DWG geometry.